I haven't had communication with Banks for a long period of time, right?
He couldn't even tell you, like, at any point when you speak to him what the problem is. I put him, like, where I put Marquise.
You and Banks are not hanging out at the strip club.
No, he goes, though.
But you don't go.
No, I don't see me there. We went to Atlantic City. We was in it was a showcase. They expect a show to happen tonight. Yeah, we will see you at the show tonight. And I go, oh, they expecting a show. Like, I was like, yo, call all of them, tell them to come here. When I asked Banks, like, when you go to perform your shows, you don't do this song? Like, this is the hardest record on your album. And he's like, why? Because you want it? I looked at it and I was like, trying to understand where he was coming from. He hadn't been on my last record. He's like, I ain't been on your record, this is not. And I was like, so what? You don't have to be on none of my record. Like, me being on your records is the favor. I put you on a record with Eminem on my first album, fool. Don't nobody even know you. We were anticipating success, not as much success as we actually had. And it would have been sufficient if we had half the success.
What up, though, y'all? It's your boy Mo City Jones. We're here at another Raptors recommendation, baby. It is a segment on my channel where my producer, San Raptor, recommends an album or project that I review, talk about its place in hip-hop, its impact at the time, and how it holds up today. Let's get it. This week, we're doing Lloyd Banks' Halloween Havoc 6, the Six of Swords. Let's go.
Stuck in the past and I'm feeling like an outcast. Elevators hit the element of clouds fast. We escalating haters, I'm trying to outlast. There's no debating going up, they start to doubt fast. Still I'm rocking, breathing in the toxins. Steady watching on the door, I'm knocking. My luck is bound to turn around. No king, no crown, no ear, no sound.
Banks is the one, the real grouchy one. He's like, I'm gonna come out when I get ready. Don't knock on my bedroom door. He's that type dude, you know what I'm saying?
So Lloyd Banks, he has been one of the most underrated members of G-Unit. Over time, you kind of realize that when you hear his bars, or most so read his bars on a piece of paper, because I can't understand what he's saying. His little raspily Oscar the Grouch voice he's got going on doesn't really do it for me. And doesn't really do it for me when I'm actually listening to the album. Just off rip, it's very hard for me to listen to a Lloyd Banks album because of the sound of his voice. It does bother me that I can't quite pick up everything he's saying because it's all kind of not monotone, but it does rap the same way the whole time. Doesn't really put any inflection on his voice. It's always this same kind of tone that he's rapping at nonstop. Also bothers me. People call Lloyd Banks the bar king, the one of the best lyricists of all time.
That nigga Banks, one of the top niggas ever, bars. Niggas, that's one rap niggas don't play with. It's certain rap niggas don't play with. He got a million lines. You like, how the fuck I didn't think of that?
Shout out to Lloyd Banks. I mean, how everything comes full circle, because that was my favorite rapper growing up.
Right.
I mean, my uncle wound up giving me a More Money in the Bank mixtape. First rhyme I heard was, I ain't the richest, but I'm richer than y'all. Shit, Banks is like the young Will Chamberlain. All I do is and ball. So after hearing that, I was running around telling that rhyme like it was mine. And then they wound up playing it on the radio when he did the Funk Flex freestyle, and caught me. So they like, yo, that ain't yours. That's the nigga Lloyd Banks. And that's what actually made me start writing my own rhymes.
Some people are already like goading him, you know? So it's like, and when it comes to that, I mean, I think he's good. I mean, I never thought Lloyd Banks as being one of the best lyricists, probably because of the voice. I mean, but if you read his bars on a piece of paper, you're like, oh, he going in. I never would have thought of saying that way. And so the writing, his pen game is amazing, I feel. But when it comes to structuring a song and making a song, I feel like he has learned a little bit from 50, but not enough.
Tell me about your learning process to make a song then.
Watching 50, to be perfectly honest with you, that was like, and he wasn't just like a writer, he was an exceptional songwriter, conceptually, and just sticking to the whole, to the subject matter, which was like a plus for me because, you know, you're looking around the game, it wasn't many like that. Some of the biggest artists weren't the best songwriters. He was. So everything from the introduction, intro, what you say in the beginning, where to pause. So, and that's how I write. I write in 4-bar pieces, right? My first 4 is gonna usually be aggressive, right? It's gonna be a line in that first 4. Second 4 will be some type of breakdown. I might get bouncy with it, right? The next 4 is gonna be a little melodic cheat code. And that's what I got from 50. Because I was always bar heavy.
Banks, I think he's at a point where he was ready for his independence. You know, artist is ready to move and go be that artist on his own, but not quite transitioning as far as what it takes to make that a comfortable transition.
Take some responsibility for Lloyd Banks and Tony Ayo.
What responsibility? Like a parent?
You're the leader.
What responsibility am I taking for him? Like, explain to me.
That you didn't encourage them to be independent
Nah,
sooner.
that's not true. Now I'm gonna explain something to you and you're gonna see it real clear, right? Even the listeners gonna know I'm right, Ebro, because you try to say I ruined New York City. I didn't forget that. You saw the format of how I brought two guys and turned them into solo artists following me getting off. Where's the two guys that around you that's gonna turn into the next two solo artists from you? You just put out tape with 18 cuts and there's no music video. Immediately after people hear the song on the air and listen to it again to see if they really like it, because they hearing it the second or third time right there on their phone. You don't have no visuals or nothing that's there. All you got is that frozen picture of 18 different spots with that same picture of your actual mixtape cover.
So you heard it.
So getting into this album, Halloween Havoc 6, the Six of Swords, a lot of sixes. That saying doesn't sit right with my soul. But I'll say that the album starts off New York, gritty, boom bap style, like all of his stuff does. You know, is that a problem for some of y'all? Don't you want to see him do stuff more like Die Slow on here, which is more like the modern sounding beat? Like, that track is my favorite on here, probably because of the modern sound to it. So much of the album sounds like I'm back 20 years ago, and it's nostalgia, but it's not even nostalgia for me, so it doesn't bother me. But for others, it bothers other people a lot. But I do know that Lloyd Banks has quite a diehard fan base, which I like. And I like that Lloyd Banks doesn't want to be that guy in the fame and the light all the time. He's comfortable where he's at. He's fine being known as this heavy, barred up, lyrical rapper, and doesn't have to be the most famous one.
When you go through obstacles and hard times in your life, nobody cares. They like the ultimate, the end of the movie. They don't really care, about the ins and outs and the hard times. They just want to see the success story. And knowing that, I wash my hands with feelings as far as the industry goes. I keep a close relationship with my fans. That's why I keep putting out so much underground content. So regardless of how much they hear me on the radio, I don't ever want to be the one that's not in the rucker. I don't ever want to be the one that ain't in the barbershop talk. It's like I want to have both. And if I can pick one, I'd rather be a god in hip hop in the streets than to be, a big commercial pop star. That's not respected by my peers.
When it comes to Lloyd Banks, I don't know about y'all, but I grew up kind of, not looking at him in the best light. I feel like, we kind of made fun of him to a certain degree. From the On Fire song and other songs that he released early on, I felt like we kind of just poke fun at a lot of times in the high school days. And then I looked at it like later on is when he really blossomed into more finding who he is and where he wants to be, more settled in as an artist, but that early beginning era. And then you had the 300 bars and running from the game, just all that kind of poked fun at the whole G-Unit crew. And then at the one point, people are saying G-Unit, and then, instead of G-Unit. The game did a lot of tearing down a G-Unit and did a lot of damage to their credibility.
What your guaranteed points were. I'm unable to answer it because I spent my youth hating on you. Like, when you was catching them joints out the bar, nigga, turn that fucking radio off, nigga. But I would assume Karma's one of them. I love Start It Up.
Yeah, Start It Up I think would be a biggest single. No?
Start It Up? I don't know.
Start It Up is definitely a big record, but Karma is one of them joints. I performed that record. Russia.
That's your timeless
Africa.
universal.
Yeah, like that's an any crowd record.
Yeah.
It don't matter where you drop that, they're gonna sing along with it. And this is the part that a lot of people don't factor in with me and my records. I wrote them all. When you hear the choruses from, Avant or the Kerry Hilsons and the Jeremiahs, I wrote all that, the whole song. So that has to factor into these verses as well.
After a certain point, it just became super corny to be seen in G-Unit anything, let alone a t-shirt just the size of a dress. So, so yeah, I do think that Lloyd Banks deserves a lot more. He's an underrated member of G-Unit. But getting into this album, man, it really comes alive in the middle of the album and then falls off at the end for me. So like Die Slow, Save a Spot, two of my favorite songs on here. And then Eat What You Kill, which is the song after the intro and paired up with the intro, also some of my favorite songs on here. So you get your standard Lloyd Banks in the beginning with Eat What You Kill. If you want something a little bit different, modern Lloyd Banks, you have Die Slow. And then if you want something more emotional, something to connect to, you have Save a Spot. And I like that kind of spectrum in this album. So there are a lot of hits in here. There are not hits, but there's a lot of great songs on here. Speaking of hits, let's get into that. I don't think any of the choruses here really do any of the songs justice. I think, maybe there's a couple on here, a couple choruses that fit, but that's two choruses out of however many songs there are on this album, and some tracks don't have choruses. So, and I think that's another thing. Like, it's so like there's nothing in your head walking away from this album. There's nothing that you're walking away singing to yourself or saying or chanting or repeating. Not a thing. In my head, at least, and then listen to this album multiple times, there is not a song that's stuck in my head out of this whole plethora of songs here. And I'm not coming down hard because I actually like most of the songs on here, but it's just, I feel like I am willing to dive into bars. I'm willing to dive into stuff with no choruses. I think it's unconventional. I think it's, kind of refreshing in a way. But other people are not going to look at that the same light. And so while I may rate it okay because of that, other people are just, it's such a hard album to get into for that reason. If you're not a hardcore lyrical hip hop fan, you're really not going to like this. And even then, you still have to like Lloyd Banks's voice, which I don't. Again, I can't get into his album because of his voice. I can't let this go. I don't know why. Something is stopping me from understanding what the hell he is saying. I can understand Young Thug no problem compared to this. Yeah, there, I said it, all right? I can hear every single lyric Twista is spitting at me, but I can't understand what the hell Lloyd Banks is saying. Worst song on here. Worst song on here is Father Figure. So that's the song that's kind of the dud on here. And as well as the last few songs on the album. I'm pretty much done with the album by the time I reach that point after multiple listens. Those are kind of which is where you want to put your kind of like okay songs, So like, but I actually don't like Father Figure. But the other two are just okay, So like, I would say like this album is kind of mid. I mean, I just got to say it. Y'all hate that word. I get it. Kind of triggers a lot of people. But when I say mid, it's not bad. I'm just saying like the album is mediocre. It's like, okay, mediocre to good, So I'll give it about a 6.5 out of 10. But it's really what's holding me back from just rating it like another like to 7.5 is really just Lloyd Banks' voice. It's unfair. It's his voice. He can't change it, or he can do some AI stuff. I don't know. But it's very interesting to see over time how 50 Cent has clowned Lloyd Banks multiple times. And I mean, really clowned a lot of members of G-Unit. I mean, we have Young Buck crying on the phone. We have him punking out Yayo at points. And we have him just calling Lloyd Banks straight up lazy, and just saying he doesn't mess with him anymore.
Banks was more content standing on his porch and watching the world from there. There's nothing wrong with that, but it underscored a particular aspect of his personality. Banks wanted things to come to him, as opposed to going out and getting them for himself. That's not me trying to assassinate his character. The guy has Lazy Lloyd tattooed on his arm. He literally wears his laziness on his sleeve. He's always projected an unhelpful mixture of being both introverted and cocky at the same time. The kind of person most comfortable being a big fish in a small pond. If Banks was hanging out in the studio with a bunch of unknown MCs, he'd be very confident. He'd enjoy being the center of attention. But if I suddenly showed up, he'd feel like he got demoted. He'd be bitter. He didn't feel like the center of attention anymore. I get it. I can take up a lot of the air in the room. My biggest disappointments is the unfulfilled potential of Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo of G Unit. I always felt that if I had done a better job teaching Banks and Yayo how to evolve and change their habits, they each would be in better places right now. Instead, they both stayed stuck in their mindset, and as a result, the success they desired has eluded them.
Banks, he just, I don't even know, he couldn't even tell you, like, at any point when you speak to him what the problem is.
Damn.
I put him, like, where I put Marquise.
Oh, wow.
Like, they just have something internally that's going on with them that gives them some sort of resentment towards me, and I just don't even care about what's going on.
So it's a lot of like, tearing down of his own crew. This is supposed to be your crew, right? You make money off of them, do you not? Or you did, So I don't understand why he kind of ignores G-Unit and pretends like they never existed, because bringing them back together would be a move in today's time. People would love to see that.
NWA, there was like all these Tupac movies. Is there going to be a G-Unit movie, man? Or are you just going to fix everything amongst the clique first and then put it up?
I don't care to do that. I think I'd like to forget the G-Unit.
No.
What? Yeah, whatever. Your fans ain't gonna forget
I love
that.
Who Cares.
NWA was out of here, yo. How you not gonna do that? No way. You're not gonna forget it, man. There's no way, yo.
Like Kendrick don't even let them boys come on stage when he perform. The show all by himself. I said, I could have did that. What the fuck bringing these dirty on the stage for? I could have did it like Kendrick. Dolo.
And I feel like the members of G-Unit are just kind of waiting for it to happen, But Lloyd Banks is fine without that, As for the other two members, I do like some Young Buck songs, but it's hard to look at them the same after all the antics he's pulled. And Yayo is more just your social media voice. Nobody wants to hear him rap on anything or talk about anything. Nobody wants to hear a Yayo song. Straight up. No. And matter of fact, here's a clip of DMX mistaking Lloyd Banks for Yayo, and he's talking about Lloyd Banks, but he thought he was talking about Yayo, which is hilarious.
Okay, so listen to this. Rakim, Hhvi Rap, Big Daddy Kane, LL, Finesse, Nas, Black Thought, Fabulous, Jadakiss, Slick Rick, Fred the Godson, Raekwon and Ghostface, Biggie, Slick Rick, KRS, Lloyd Banks, Big L, Eminem, DMX, Drake.
Lloyd Banks?
Huh? Lloyd Banks, of course. Bro,
Lyricist?
the illest lines ever.
All right, quote 4 bars. Impress me with 4 bars is.
Come on, X. Come on, I can't
Give me 4 bars. Yo, it shouldn't be hard. 4 bars. 4 bars. No, fuck it. Give me 2.
I can't
2
think
bars.
of them.
Huh?
I can't think of them now. I just was writing.
Okay, all right.
Come on, let me ask you.
Okay, anybody I name? Bars on deck.
So yeah, man, that's my that's my review. It's about 6.5 out of 10. Let me know what y'all think about Lloyd Banks. Let me know if y'all want to see a revival of G-Unit and bring the band back together. Bring the band back together, y'all. All right. Adios, y'all. Peace, deuces. Thanks for listening. Check out the other Raptors recommendations on my playlist on my channel. I am also starting a gaming channel, believe it or not. DualShock 313. Be sure to check that out as well. I got a beat channel I'm going to be reviving soon. We're hitting all kinds of points here, y'all. So get ready, man, because we going crazy. Appreciate y'all. One love. Peace.